Hello, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of Energy Incorporated's Thrive Live. My name is Darryl, and I am happy to be your host today. My other co-hosts, Tawana Lee and Raven Leckert, are not able to be with us today, but my very special guest co-hosts, we have two. Our admin, Erin Treherne, is with us today, as well as our community co-host. She has been helping us with, she's done a couple of these with us and is also bringing some new people to us to interview and talk to, and that's Miss Carol Holley from Highland Dwellings. Hey, Carol. Hey, Erin.
Hello.
And so we're going to introduce our guest today. We want to thank you for joining us today. Our podcast is here. We are talking to real people with real situations and real solutions. And so we are working today to continue to expand what we do, how we expose people to information that will help them to get the resources and needs in their communities to have the highest quality of life. So there's so much that we are about and that we do. And we're excited to be here today. So I'm glad to have with us our very special guest today with Arielle Johnson, Victor Battle, Commissioner Delores Miracle Bryant, and Goldie from Ross from Goldie Bears returns with us again today. And so let's jump right into our panel and talk about what's going on in our local communities and areas, and what do we need, what are we doing, what's going on. Anybody want to jump right on in and tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what's going on?
Hi, everyone. I am Commissioner Miracle. I'm the commissioner for AE06, which is Washington Highlands. So
Miracle, you
basically,
might have to talk up just a little bit. You sound a little further away now.
okay, can you guys hear me?
Great, yes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Commissioner Delores Bryant, but everyone calls me Miracle. I'm the commissioner AE06, which is Washington Highlands. Um, a little background about how I became a commissioner. I lost both of my parents to violence in my community. And that kind of inspired me to go into the social work field. So right now I'm getting my master's at Howard to get my license. But it inspired me to want to help my community more because all of the skills that I have gained or have now, I wish I had it back then to save my parents. So I'm using that pain and putting it into my community. So far it's been great. I've been doing a lot with trying to help my constituents with the needs that they need help on, and also with mental health resources as well.
Awesome. You are going to be our new best friend because what you're talking about and what you're doing is important. I'll tell you that I'm a part of the Place of Worship Advisory Board, and we've got a great community event coming up on August 26th at Oxen Run Park.
Mhm.
But one of the things that we did a couple years ago, Miracle, you might not be aware of, is that we put out a statement that violence as a public health threat, and really pushing the fact, especially this was at a time a few years ago when there was an increase in gun violence as well,
Right.
and that has not necessarily ceased. It's continued to be there, but we are. That's one of the things that we've worked on as well. And so I'm sorry to hear about your parents, and I'm glad that you have turned that tragedy into triumph and are making some good things happen. Congratulations on your social work as well. Want to hear more about your story and more about how your work as a commissioner is really impacting community. Let's get some other folks in too, and then we'll come back to you again.
Okay.
Victor, are you still with us?
Mm. Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
Hey, Victor, how you doing?
Everything's well. Everything's well.
Good. Tell us a little bit about you.
Start off. My name is Victor Battle. I'm a native Washingtonian. I am a father of nine here in Washington, D.C. Um, I am a violence interrupter here in the city. I'm also the Ward 8 business owner. I have two businesses. One is First Choice LLC, and the most recent one is Right Directions. Back in 2011, I started down at the mayor's office on Return to Citizen Affairs, where I was the workforce development specialist, and I helped them home maintain and gain gainful employment. In 2015, I transitioned over to my first business. Um, at that time, I had a couple contracts with DC government doing the security camera installation. Um, After that, I joined the Cure the Streets team, which is a violence interruption organization here that's working to combat the gun violence in the city. I worked that for approximately about 3 years. During that time, I seen a trend of while we were working to help the youth and the at-risk people in the communities put the guns down, that a lot of the guns end up being in the younger kids' hands. So I created an organization called Right Directions, which would ultimately reach to provide mentorship to pick the gun up, give them other make sure that they are being productive members of the community so they won't have to join the pipeline to prison. We're working there for the last couple of years. I've been working with a partner of mine, and with the work that we were doing, we were highlighted and awarded a contract to be the Washington Highland Family Success Center. I am now the workforce, I'm an outreach coordinator there. Programming going on daily with Miss Carol, and I first want to thank Miss Carol for inviting us. It's very important to try to get this information out because a lot of the work that we do, we're working so hard that we don't never get a chance to tell the story. And I want to appreciate you all and thank you very much for inviting us out. Um, we have a lot of programs, health, substance abuse, um, computer training. We have music studios. We do a lot of community events where we bring in mental health, substance support. Most recently, Right Directions has been working on the MLK corridor with a lot of the opioid overdose. I've been the person that's actually calling 911 when a lot of those people out there. Unfortunately, one of the guys overdosed and he passed away, and it kind of really bothered me. So we did a outreach special up on MLK in front of Georgina's Players Lounge, and we provided a lot of resources. Everybody on the corridor Narcan. So we have Narcan on hand. So, and we're training them how to use it to help their local friends that are doing opioids and happen to fall into overdose. I am also scheduled to testify tomorrow at the Department of Health hearing about the work that we have with DBH and the work that we plan to do inside of the community upcoming, trying to get residents into substance abuse help, going into shelters, housing, and once they come home, we want to be able to try to provide them jobs to go back and reach out to a lot of the people they once were practicing opioid use with. So we're very motivated to do that. Also, Malaysia Closet is another partner that we work with inside of Washington Highlands, and they is a young girl, beautiful young girl. We've been supporting her over the last 5 years, going back and forth to Ohio to model. She's not only a business owner, she's a model, and she's a teacher helping other young girls believe in their beauty. And they've been invited to Ohio several times, and they won a lot of crowns. They're scheduled to go to Florida this year. You know, she would always tell me to say, if you all could, please reach out to Right Directions or Malaysia Closet on social media, Instagram. If you all can support, definitely the help is needed. We've been raising money to get them there every year, and it's scheduled to in July. So we kind of behind the track. But if you all can and will, I really, really appreciate you reaching out to help this young girl succeed and fulfill her dream. The international model for Southeast Washington, D.C.
Well, you have, listen, it sounds like you have enough programs and businesses that you'll be able to pass one on to each of those 9 children and keep
Oh, yeah.
it going. I am
That's definitely
impressed.
who it's for.
I'm so thank you for all your giving out of yourself into community. We want to have you back again and talk. There's so many pieces of what you talked about. Want to get you back again to talk about some of those things specifically. And the young woman that you're talking about with the modeling and the beauty, want to get her on as well to
Please,
talk about that
definitely.
program. So I want you to get with Erin and get that scheduled in as soon as possible so we can go ahead and boost what you all are doing in that area as well. Your violence
Yes, thank you.
interrupter work, I want to get you and Commissioner Miracle back on again. Let's talk more about this violence and violence interrupter work that you all are doing.
Mhm.
And about violence in our community. So let's have a conversation about that as well going forward. So Erin will be in touch with you all to kind of schedule that. Y'all keep me busy. If you live, there's so much going on in the community. Just make me have to do more podcasts. I don't have a problem with it. make me have to do more, because I really want the reason why we started this was because so many people don't know about the resources and what's available in our
Exactly.
communities, and all of us can't get to everybody, so we can't get to everybody to tell them what we're doing all the time when we're also doing the work. So I'm so proud to have you all here today. And Arielle, are you still with us? I know you may have had to step away for a quick second. Goldie, you there?
I'm always here.
I know, Goldie. Come on, Goldie. Tell us a little bit more about what you do again for our listeners and viewers who have who maybe just meeting you for the first time.
Okay, so Goldie in the Biz is my baby that's being birthed. Um, and basically we are trying to recondition the behavior and the mindset of the people, by creating intergenerational programming. We're basically geared to helping our next generation leaders, helping them advocate about the community and things and the issues inside of our communities and stuff. Teaching them how to create generational wealth by entrepreneurship and financial literacy. We basically want to help our youth to get out there to start like being advocate. Not, I don't want to use the word advocating because that's the word. We're not advocating the issues inside our community. We want to basically see the change inside of that. So I want them to be the voice of the change. I want to help them with that and with, like I said, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, the adopting grandparents, the health and wellness portion. I just want to help do it all. I would love to partner with you, Miracle, and Victor with anything that I can help out with. So just thank you guys for allowing me to sit here.
Great, thank you so much. And Arielle.
Yes, I am so sorry about before, but my name is Arielle Johnson, and I work with So What Else. And So What Else is a nonprofit organization that specializes in hunger relief and making sure that children in our community do not go hungry. I work with So What Else DC on the leadership team, and I am quite frankly really honored to be here today to just talk about everything that's going on in the community and how we can better help people and really get a understanding of what's going on so that we can get, not only the children, but the adults that care for them, the help that they need. Basically what we're doing, like we're working on a really big project right now where we're excited about. We're launching our summer camp soon. So our summer camps will run from 9:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon at about 3 or 4 sites around the DC area. Um, we basically just try to make sure all of our children are enriched. We feed them breakfast, we feed them lunch, we give them snacks. We do fun activities. We'll take them swimming. We will take them on field trips. And, that's really just in an effort to make sure that all of our kids, especially during the summertime, just don't have free time on their hands. Because you know what happens when you have too much free time, right? So, we're really, really, really just trying to make sure that the community has, the fundamental building blocks of what they need. For example, it's very hard to, like they say, pour from an empty cup. So making sure that those families have meals, making sure that those families have, safe havens or places to go, when they need help.
I like this idea of so what else. So what else do you need? Tell me so I can help you get connected. So what it sounds like what you all are
So
doing.
it's actually, so what else can we do to help? Um, Yeah, so it's, so what else can we do to help? So, we're always asking, what else can we do to, help the community? What else can we do to help children, to help families? What else can we do to, make sure that you have what you need, to tackle on, the day, the next week, before you even think about, going to work or, getting your kids to school, you often worried about, what am I going to feed them? And that should not be something that any family has to worry about.
Very good. Um,
If I could, I would definitely like to give them kudos because we definitely work with them in the Washington Highland, and you see them on giving these, passing out food boxes door to door. So I definitely want to give a shout out because a lot of times we get funding that's supposed to do something, and they say they're doing it, we don't never see it, but they are definitely boots on the ground, doing what they tend to do and what their mission stand for.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. That's a big shout out. Thank you. So Carol Holley is our special community co-host today. She has been recruiting our guests for us for this particular discussion and in one of our previous discussions. So Carol from Highland Dwellings, you're the current resident president at Highland Dwellings in Southeast DC. Share a little bit more about yourself. And also, if you wouldn't mind, tell us why you brought this particular group of folks together, and let's jump off into our conversation.
Unmuting.
There you go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carol Holley from Highland Resident Council. I'm the president here for our community center, and we're out here, trying to make sure that we find ways to make sure that the communities are, you know, together. We want to, keep everybody together. The reason I brought Arielle from So What Else Inc. in is because also, like Victor said, we have a relationship with them. And So What Else Inc. has been with Highland for many a years, doing programs with the kids, feeding our community, and just doing an excellent job at what they do. And at this point, we're looking for someone to help fund us so that they can keep doing the work that they do and stuff, because they do such an excellent job. Kudos to them. And Mr. Victor Battle and Miss Tut, whom is the young lady for Highland Additions, whom I spoke to earlier. They do an awesome job with what they're doing around in the community too, and we all try to partner up and keep each other informed about what's going on and do things together. So that was the reason I'm bringing them on, and of course we had to bring our commissioner on. Miss Miracle is our new commissioner, and she's doing a fabulous job at what she does. And I happen to have known her mom, and I know her grandmother. So that's where our connection is also. But I just want Highland to be on the map, because once upon a time our area was known for violence. It was just straight violence and stuff, and people just didn't want to have nothing to do with our communities and stuff. And we still struggle with things going on and everything. I mean, I gotta say, I think it goes on everywhere, but I think we just get it a little rough. So we want to make sure that we connect different organizations and programs, bring them in with us so that we can find ways to help our babies, help our youth, help our teenagers, help the seniors, the adults, trying to make sure we have plenty of programs or people they can turn to for jobs, trainings. I appreciate you, Darryl, because people, they were able to get their CPR and first aid, certificates and stuff. And, you've done the trainings with the Noxalon and everything. So I just want to bring everybody that I can, whoever I can touch, I can reach, bring them in to our community so they can know that, we need help. We looking for help. And, we're not a bad neighborhood. We just need people to stand by us and back us, to help us out and stuff. So I appreciate all y'all.
Absolutely. So we are so happy to be a part of this process and this conversation, a part of the community with you. So Carol, jump us off. What thoughts do you have that you want to get our guests talking about today?
Mainly my usual thoughts is that, just to keep us in tune together, just bringing all the organizations together so that we can all, help one another and stuff. So it's about partnering up. So like I said, we all are doing our parts and keeping us together. But I want us to just pass the word on, so whoever you may know that I may not know, bring them my way, and so be it. Vice versa. Just want to tag team everybody and just bring
Yeah.
more people in.
Yeah, so my I saw your chat, Mr. Darryl. So my main goal, I guess, is to reach out to our youth. We already know that they're the ones that's really causing all of the violence that's within the neighborhood.
Yes.
However, I am a product of my community. I was born and raised in Washington Highlands. I've dealt with the exact same trauma that they dealt with. However, I had a village, and I also utilize the skills that I teach my clients in mental health. I use it on myself. So that's why I said something about bringing mental health resources into the community, because we have a lot of resources, right? But we don't have people who want to get up out that bed and go get it. So it's my job to bring it to them and knock on their door and say, hey, here's therapy. Hey, here's a way, or here's some self-soothing techniques. Here's some coping skills. So that is my whole goal. I feel like we've had some good commissioners, but it's like they skipped our generation. It's like they did not like pay attention to our youth and not realizing like they're going to be our future. Now the future is here. Now our youth just all over the place. So not only will I be serving, the senior citizens and the toddlers, but my main focus is the teenagers. I want to have my own group home, because teenage homelessness is a big thing here in DC. Now everybody asks, how are they homeless if they have parents? Exactly. So it's like my focus is on the youth. If they could see me and see how I got through and how I'm prospering, then maybe they'll have some type of motivation. Like, hey, Miracle, she's been there, done that. We literally watch her grow up. We watch her fight. We watch her do this. We watch her do that. She still went to undergrad, got her degree. Now she's getting her master's to help us. We can do it. Like, it's been times that I've been in my own bed for a week straight, not wanting to leave out. And it's only because I'm missing my parents. I never had parental support ever. So it's like, when I'm in a hole, I dig my own self out of the hole. So sometimes that gets to me because I wish and then I pray, right? But then I also take that pain and I just throw it out into my community, throw it out into my job, and then I help them. And that actually what keeps me going every single day is helping others. So working with Miss Holley, working with Victor, they definitely work with a lot of youth. I'm just trying to figure out how I can approach them. I don't want to be that boring person that always want to come and talk. I want to expose them to Miami. I want to expose them to, nice places, to as if they're in another city, or if they're exposed to another culture, then they'll understand like I can make it. You know, we watch everybody around us in this city, decline, health decline, physical health, mental health. So people feel like, no, we don't have any opportunities. Ain't nobody gonna come look at us and turn us into an inspiring rapper, or nobody's gonna come and, and find us and turn us into an actress. So we can just try to expose them to acting. Everything that's on the TV, they want to be it. So we can expose them to that kind of stuff. We can probably get them to now engage, So this is great. I could talk all day.
And you know what, this, Miracle, let's get you back and let's really dig deep into these issues. My specialty in mental health was with children and adolescents, and I did a lot of adolescent youth programming. I developed curricula for mental health work with our adolescents in Georgia and in Chicago and in Memphis. So lots of things and I used some of those programs in Portland, Oregon as well. And I even have a program here in DC that we have been doing called Ujima Ashe, which is for all age groups. So we have been focusing a lot on our youth programming with that particular program over the last few years. So let's really dig into some more of that work. I think it's amazing that you are able to do what you're doing. And I hear you. Can you talk just a little bit more about you mentioned that there is sometimes you have a week where you don't feel like getting out of the bed, you don't want to get out. Can you talk a little bit more about what that is and how you deal with that?
Yeah, sure. So, I sometimes I overwork myself. I overbook myself. Sometimes I don't know why, but I feel like I'm just a superwoman. So I be having X, Y, and Z, you know, to do, but then I be forgetting about myself, my self-care, and making sure that I'm okay. So it's been times when I'll go a month straight when I'm just doing social work from 9 to 5, commissioner throughout the night in school, right? And then I'll end up breaking down, and now I don't want to be around anybody. So I'll shut the world out and I'll just focus on myself. Whether that's crying every day, whether that's walking naked, listening to music, um But I lost my boyfriend. He was killed as well in 2021 during COVID. So of course you can only imagine, like, we're working from home. This happened, you know, and I literally stayed in my house for a whole week. Like, my friends and family had to call the concierge and, do a wellness check because I wouldn't answer anybody phone calls. The thing is, that's okay, right? Because we try to make it seem like that's not normal. That's not good. You need to go to a psychiatrist. No, not really. You need to just find the foundation and then go off of that. So what I did was, I'm like, how can I work with mental health adults? And I'm telling them how to overcome their distress and overcome their depression. And I'm sitting here doing the same daggone thing. So it was like, all right, now let me make my own self-soothing techniques. Let me develop my own coping skills. Let me start working out. Let me do things that I like, writing, listening to R&B. And that's why I can say I can emphasize for my community, because yeah, when you thinking about all of the trauma that you've been through, you like, I'm not going out there. I don't feel like being bothered with people today. And that, like I said, that's okay. But for you not to do nothing in 5 years, you ain't get no job or nothing, that's not okay. So now it's time for me to step in and help you, meet your goals. So I mean, I haven't done it in a while, and I fight it, and I try to, stop myself from like closing out and shutting the world out. So what I do is I'll just go in my community, walk around the whole thing, go to the check on all of the organizations that's in it, say hi, and keep it moving. So I mean, it was difficult, but I still managed to overcome it. And like I said, it be times when I'm looking at my friends, they in law school, they doing this, they doing that, and everyone knows it's hard to get a master's and do a 9 to 5 at the same time. But who gonna pay my bills? You got people who could call their mom and be like, Mom, I can't pay my rent, or I can't pay my utility bills. It's because I had to pay $800 in books for school, and that made me up. It kind of made me sad, because it's like, who can I call? I'm literally my entire family's backbone. Everybody is counting on Miracle. So when you got everybody counting on Miracle, that can literally drag you into a hole. So
We put on the bottom of the screen there also for folks to be able to reach our DC behavioral help line 1-888-7 we help, or 202-673-2200, or 202-561-7000. We encourage people to seek support and mental health services and support to address the things that Miracle's talking about. And she's right. Sometimes you need a few days of just some quiet time, some me time to get yourself to recalibrate and all that. But too long is too long, right? So there's a point where you need to be able to say, I'm not getting out of bed. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not doing things that I need to do. So I need to get some help outside of myself. And so whether that is from a faith-based institution or a community mental health situation, or both, we encourage you to look into those kind of supports for yourself. If you want to talk to somebody about it, and you're not sure where to go, not sure who to look for, contact us at our email address, and we will reach back out to you, and you and I will have a conversation, or me or you, with one of our outreach specialists or one of our resource specialists. We have a mental health resource specialist and a substance use disorder resource specialist, as well as community resource specialists that will be able to talk with you about the kinds of things that you need and get you connected to that kind of support. We've been helping people all across, not just in DC, but all across the country. We recently helped some folks in Virginia and some folks in other places that were looking for help. They saw our podcast and were like, I need something. And so they reached out to us. And so we were able to liaison with agents in their area to help do that. And Erin was instrumental. Thank you, Erin, for helping us do that. Recently, just as an FYI, I've recently talked to that person that we were helping in Virginia, who has relocated to Oklahoma with family, has been able to get back there, get a job, and is living with family, is doing much better. Still coming through, still going through some challenges, but feeling much better about their life and what's going on. So that's a win for us. We don't always want people to leave our areas, but we want people to be where they're safe and where they're with family, where they have people that care about them, and where they can work and have the life that they want. So we're happy to be able to do that with you all. So Arielle, Victor, what else is going on? What's going on in your community that we want to lift up, and maybe something that we need the commissioner to know about to see where the resources are to help us with that? Arielle?
I think honestly the I'm sorry. I think honestly the biggest thing right now is honestly two things. I would say mental health, and I would say making sure people have the resources they need. As everybody knows or may know, the government recently cut most people's like emergency COVID funding. So that left a lot of people with, not as many food stamps as they used to get, not as much, government assistance as they used to get. And for a lot of families, they just got used to that, and they really needed that. I've had people tell me now that, they have food stamps, they have as little as $20. Like $20. $20 for a whole month, that doesn't even feed one person for 24 hours. So, I think, right now it's like really important to try to get people the resources they need in terms of, food, especially now that we're going into the summertime. You need to make sure that you're nourished and that you're hydrated because it's getting warmer.
Absolutely.
So right now, I think those are the two biggest issues I've seen are, of course, mental health, because, when you're struggling, that really puts you in a fight, fight or flight, kind of mode. You kind of put things off to the side, important things, like self-care, because you don't have time. You're trying to figure out, where your next meal is coming from. You don't have time to ask, well, I don't feel well today, because you're focused on, I have to feed my family. I have to take care of my children. I have to take care of my partner or whoever you're taking care of, especially, when it comes to, like Miracle was saying, if you're the backbone of a family, who is really there for you. So I think that, right now, the biggest two things are definitely mental health and getting people those resources they need, because it is really difficult out here, especially after, people's emergency COVID funding was cut. I have noticed that people have really, really, really been struggling out there.
Can I
Yeah.
say something about that?
Yeah, please go ahead, Commissioner.
Yeah, Ariel, you're absolutely right. Right. But a line has to be drawn somewhere, right? Because think about it. If now you're getting $20 for food stamps, hopefully that motivated you to get up off your behind and go find a job so you could be able to be able to um fund food in your home. I just feel like for a very, very long time, and this is not everybody, people, they take advantage of our government benefits, and then now they're wondering why the people who actually made DC, when we were called Chocolate City, we've been predominantly black since the 1970s. They're trying to figure out why we're the ones that's getting pushed out. Well, it's because you got very, very comfortable and you stayed on that government assistance. Now, all of these houses that they didn't build for us, they going to the majority because you guys didn't want to take that class to learn how to get a house, or you guys didn't want to take that job training that help you build skills to make you want to go to work. Now mental health can play a part in it, because with your mental health you don't feel like going to work, right? So that's why I said I could agree to some extent, but we gotta be on their backs now. They can't be lazy anymore, because when stuff like this happen, they need to be able to pick themselves up, like, all right, cool, I get $20 now, that ain't nothing, I'm about to go and do Uber Eats, or I'm about to go do some type of job to help me get the funds that I need.
So, Commissioner, I'm gonna push back a little bit on you.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say something about it too. I mean,
go
if I
ahead,
can
Arielle.
jump in,
Can I speak on that?
Well,
go go ahead.
Arielle, go ahead, and let's come back
So,
to Carol. Yeah, and
okay,
Victor, I
well,
think. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, sure, there is a laziness component in there. I mean, sure, anybody could be lazy, but I struggle with that mindset, because sometimes when you're at a place where you just feel like like you don't have any other options. You just don't have the, oh, well, I should just go get a job. Sometimes it's really not that simple. Sometimes, especially for me, if I'm at a place where I feel stuck, like I don't have always that forward thinking, oh, I should get a job, or I feel like I know I should get a job, but it's like, okay, I just need somebody just to handhold me just a little bit, just to say, okay, Arielle, let's sit down, let's apply for these jobs. It's one thing to apply for a job, but you also have to understand, what are your marketable skills? Like, what are your marketable skills? Because some people don't have skills. So I have to, that it's not just as simple as applying for jobs. I have to create a resume. I have to write a cover letter. I have to understand what I'm good at. That means I have to gather my resources. I have to understand what my past job experience, is.
It
That's not
means you might have had to have a job before that you didn't have.
that too,
So you
because
may
I
not
mean,
have anything to put on a resume.
right. So it's so much that goes into just getting a job, or just, just getting help. That's just overwhelming for some people. So my thing is, I'm sure there's a laziness component to some of that, but understand that some people just genuinely feel stuck.
Well, and also let me
Can I
jump in
just
before
say,
Carol jumps in. Before you go, Carol, I want to just point out that we do also have people that are on limited assistance because of disabilities or other kinds of things. So they don't have always the luxury to just go get a job, because then getting that job made, now they can work up to a certain amount, but some people don't, they need the kind of, so I guess what I'm saying is that there's a lot of other nuances to this situation, to each individual family and to large portions of our communities situations, and we have to tackle all of those. If you've got returning citizens who can't find jobs that will hire them because they keep trying and they keep getting told no, they can't live in public housing because of the felony or whatever that might be. So there's lots of nuances and ways as a collective community we really need to look at how we attack a lot of these problems. And I think, Commissioner Miracle, you're not far off at all. And I don't want to beat you up on just a couple of few word choices, but just want our listeners, and our viewers here to recognize that we also know that there's more to circumstances sometimes than people just not wanting to do something. But it's also about access. It's about education. It's about awareness. It's about the mother or the father that has multiple children. And how do you find a job that lets you accommodate your children at different age groups? One's getting out of school earlier, one's going into school late because they're in kindergarten, and you've got high school age students getting out and middle schoolers, and you want to make sure your high schooler doesn't get caught up in some stuff that they shouldn't be caught up in. Like, there's a lot of stuff that people are really dealing with on the ground. And so I just want us to keep that in mind. Miracle, you're not, I don't want to say you're wrong at all. I want to say that part of what you're saying is there's a serious truth to it. I've counseled some of those people. I know some of those people. We talked to some of those folks that fall into those categories, but there's a whole bunch of other folks that fall into some other categories that we want to make sure that as a community we're looking into. Carol, go ahead, because you're a resident association president and you're working with residents on a daily basis, right? So Carol, what are your thoughts?
And I'm gonna say, Miracle, I get you. I understand where you at. We do have some lazy people. I'm one of the lazy people who work and got a job. So with that, I'm saying that, the mental health does play a major role. And the first thing is that there's a lot of people who out here who are not willing to accept that they need mental health. So if they can get to that step that they need mental health and get some help, then maybe they can take the next step with getting somebody who can help them write resumes and the cover letters and job searching and find a job. But this mental health thing is deep. It is not a game. You'd be surprised. Some people don't even realize that they suffer with mental health. They, like Miracle says, she lost her parents. I don't have a mother or father, even and during COVID, I lost some family members and stuff. And, like 1 year we had like 10 relatives die within a 2-year period. I mean, just back-to-back deaths in our family and stuff. So I'm telling you, mental health played a part, and then I told you, Darryl, I suffer with domestic violence. So going through what I was going through, it played, even with me working and stuff, I still got a lazy gene, and I don't want to get up and go to work. I don't want to do things. Sometimes I don't want to clean my house. I mean, the lazy thing just dead. It ain't got nothing to do with you not wanting to work. You can want to work and still be lazy. But like I said, the mental health is serious. People just really need help, and I just need people to really recognize that you can't look at a person and say and know that they need mental health. I'm talking the best dressed, the well spoke, the person with a bomb job can have everything they need in life, but they suffer with mental health and they don't want to, they got some things going on with them that they don't want to take care of and stuff. So let's just understand that mental health is serious, and we need I ask people, I ask to try and get programs in here on it and stuff. Like we about to do a program on the first on domestic violence, and I hope you ladies can join us. But we doing a program on domestic violence on the first at 1 o'clock. And when we talk about the last class we had, mental health was a part of that because people didn't realize, that they was going through something, when they was sitting back going through with that, mental health just hard. It's just rough. And I just want people to really just,
So
just get some help.
Before we wrap up today, let me throw a couple things in. So we've had some offline conversation with Commissioner Miracle, and she did acknowledge that part of the issue also is to help people discover the skills that they have and what they're capable of. And we may have to push some people past what they've known or what they've been experiencing to really dig deeper into finding out what's possible for them in this case. And so she did it. She acknowledges that and encourages us to think about that as well. Go ahead, Victor, jump in there.
I want to share my experiences. Me being a compassionate, I guess you want to call it a public nowadays. I am a community support worker. Back during my tenure at Cure the Streets, the Attorney General offices encouraged all of us, and actually it was a requirement that we all got mental health support because a lot of the times we suffer from compassion fatigue. A lot of the times that we are drawing people and trying to support other people, which put an extra burden on us. So we did have to get a therapist. So, I just want to let people know I've signed up to be a community support worker at City Care so I can get those people and those people closest to me to make sure they're connected to mental health services. They have therapy. So I just want to encourage people. I have a therapist. I have people that I know have therapists. There are therapists out there that look like us. So we don't have to think that it's somebody you that they will definitely sit down and listen to your concerns, definitely give you support and just that ear. Sometimes we just need to slow down and just think about our actions, our well-being, and think about our health. I also I've done meditation. I've done meditation so much, and I'm now a licensed meditator. I can teach it now. So it's just about your self-being. I used to take the time because I have a nonprofit. A lot of the times, most of the funding that I get has to come from me doing grants. I would literally ride out to the beach and sit beside the water and type up my grants, and that was some kind of that's the moment for me. So I just want to just encourage people that seek out help. If you need help, you can definitely reach out. That we're doing, we are definitely working on behavior modification. Also, with the Family Success Center, we understand that a lot of residents don't leave out of a 4-block radius of their homes. One, for safety purposes, and two, they just don't know how to navigate outside of their normal circle of influence. So we are working to bring a lot of those mental health services, a lot of those, I'm talking about dental services, doctor's appointment. You'd be surprised about all the other underlying health issues that a lot of the residents in our community don't get just because they don't travel outside of it. So we're working to bring a lot of these necessary and essential services that are located outside of our community, inside of our community, to our community centers, to the rec center, to the Miss Holley Center on Atlantic, and the Family Success Center on 9th Street.
So a lot of what we're talking about, family, in our community are generational, and they are systemic problems that have affected our communities and for people, our families, for long periods of time.
I was just going to say that.
We can unpack that another time, but there's a lot of stuff in there. And it is that there are people who have taken advantage of the system. They figured out how they could get in on the system and
Exactly.
game the system. There are those people, right? Let's not pretend like they don't exist, but
Mm-hmm.
let us be mindful that the majority of our community are not those people, right? The majority of our people may have
Mm-hmm.
fallen into a circumstance and it's been generationally passed on. This is how we live. This is where we live. This is all we have. And if you don't see in your family, in your community, anyone doing anything differently, then why do you believe it can be different for you? I remember as a young person, remembering meeting people who did not believe, young Black men and women, particularly, and Latinx men and women who did not think they would live to be 21. So it didn't matter what they did. They didn't think they would live to be 21. So if they died anytime between the age they were at that point and 21, that was what was going to happen. So they could do whatever. And were pleasantly surprised when people lived beyond 21 and they didn't know what to do with themselves, right? Because they had not done and taken advantage of some things along the way, educationally or otherwise, because they didn't think there was a point to it, right? But that's something that was passed down, put into their consciousness, something that lived inside of their mind, right? And it grows and it festers and it takes root. So I'm going to encourage you, wherever you are, if you can find a faith-based institution that meets your needs and your spiritual self, if you can find a community-based organization like ours and like those that are on here to reach out to get connected to, this is what we want you to do. And if nothing else, you can call 1-888-7-WE-HELP. At least get connected to community support, to maybe some other counseling and services like that will help you begin to unpack and talk about some of these things to find out where you really fit in and what's really working, what will work for you. We don't have one answer. There's no one answer for everybody. But what we do know is that collectively we can find the answers for all of us, that we are in this
Can I
together,
say one more thing?
and that we're going to make it work together. Carol?
No, I just wanted to say one more thing, and like with the youth and stuff, like you said, it is generational because a lot of these youth, it's a lot of stuff that's going on that they're seeing in their homes and stuff that's making them do the things that they do. So that's why even these teenagers, I wish parents would just take advantage and take that stigma off mental health and just let your child get therapy. Just go talk to somebody because it really works. Like Victor said, I see a therapist, I see a psychiatrist too. Every couple of years I check in because, I like working in the community and working in the community, hearing other people problems and things that's going on with them and stuff sometimes can drain you too. So along with the stuff that I went through in my own life journey and stuff. So a good check-in really goes a long way.
It really does. And thank you all so much for joining us today. We will listen. I am excited about each one of you. We have got to have some more conversation together on this work that we're doing. Commissioner Miracle, you are amazing. You have survived
Yes.
so much, and I cannot imagine how you've been able to navigate through the pain
Yes.
that you've gone through and the trauma that you've experienced. And I admire you, love you dearly, sister, and we look forward to talking with you some more and working with you on your goals and what you're trying to build as a commissioner in your area. We love what you're doing. We love that you're there. We support you and we'll be there for you now and at the ballot box. We'll encourage folks to do that. And as you move up in your career, we wish you the best. And all of you who are doing this work, Carol, Arielle, Victor, and even Goldie, who we lost a little while ago, we love the work that you all are doing. We're glad to figure out ways to be in greater partnership with you. And so let's continue talking about how we can do that and how we build collectively as a community to make a difference for all of us that need it. We encourage folks, if you are interested, on August 26th to come and join us at the Place of Worship Advisory Board and the Friends of Oxen Run Park Community Health and Wellness Day that we'll be having there on the 26th of August, right there in the middle of this community that we're talking about here, but also it's open to everyone in DC and in the DMV area actually to come. Our work is in partnership with the Maryland Department of Health and the Virginia Departments of Health, as well as the DC Health. So we look forward to seeing you. We will see you at our next podcast. Stay tuned. Like us on Facebook or on our YouTube channel. follow us, subscribe, and go to these organizations and connect with them. Get the help that you need. There's help out there. And if you can't find it, let us help you find it. So be well. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for Thrive Live. Erin, thank you for being here and being our admin backup here. And all of you for joining us. Thank you so much. And we will look forward to seeing you again really, really soon. And y'all don't hang up, okay?